6533, Henderson State University, spring 2008. My name is Dennis Felton, and I'm looking forward to exiting the Education Leadership Program and discussing the ELCC standards and my reflection on these standards throughout this semester. Just want to give you a little background on myself. I have experience at a district level, school level administrator. I'm a 5 through 8 former middle school teacher. When I think of myself as a servant leader, transformative leader. I'm a coach and try to use those leadership skills and talents in order to inspire others to come together to accomplish goals and stay aligned to our mission and vision. Background-wise, I got my first bachelor's degree from Arkansas State University. I got my my first master's degree from Arkansas State University, and I'm currently finishing up the EDL leadership program at Henderson State University, and we'll be starting a PhD program of study at the University of Arkansas this fall, with the emphasis in public policy and concentration in education policy. So talking about standard element 1.1, throughout my internship course, I was able to conduct a vision walk with stakeholders at Quest Academy, and we were able to basically discuss school needs, review data, and try to think about what kind of goals we would like to set for the school. And also, how can we get stakeholders involved in this process and communicate the mission and vision to all stakeholders and even individuals in the community. Looking at the next standard 1.2, we was able to move to the next step in this internship course as well, and be able to use the software that's provided by the state in order to identify the goals and then create a school improvement plan. And so this is very informative and resourceful, because I learned how to use the software and then how to assign various individuals and use the software to collaborate with stakeholders and monitor the progress of the school improvement plan. The next thing I was able to do in my internship course is working with Dr. Martin Luther King Elementary School and being able to collaborate with the building level principal and develop a 2-year professional development plan. And so we're able to identify instructional weaknesses and PD that the staff would need based on observations and data, as well as ensuring that the school was participating all state and federal mandated professional development as well. And so looking at that school improvement plan, also with Quest Academy, we were able to take a goal and take that goal and really create an actionable plan and saying, okay, this is our goal. What tasks do we need to take in order to accomplish this goal? Who needs to be involved? What personnel are going to be responsible? And then let's set timelines. That way we can follow up and monitor our progress towards making this goal into full implementation or achieved. In my curriculum strategies class, I was able to engage in a study done by Ruby Payne. And so we did a book study, and I did a presentation on how poverty impacts curriculum and instruction, and learned a lot, got a lot of different resources to share with my staff, and as well as reflecting my professional practice and how we're making curriculum and instructional decisions based on things like that as well. The next thing I was able to do in element 2.4 was in Dunn Ben's class, I was able to create a brochure. And the brochure just basically had the emerging technology devices to support teachers who were trying to incorporate more instructional technology in their classroom. And so I had to kind of do my research and find out what were some new and fasting trends and devices and things that teachers were using in the classroom that were being effective as far as engagement. The next thing I was able to do in my school finance course with Dr. Helms is I was able to create a facilities assessment. And this is my first time ever even being aware of the facility assessment and knowing this kind of data was out there. And it was very instrumental in kind of to understand that as school leaders, we're still responsible for ensuring that, we have the appropriate space and facilities to support our mission and vision and our goals. The next artifact I have out of element 3.4 is throughout my internship course with Dr. Jenkins as well. And I conducted some research on distributed leadership and shared decision making, and collaborated with Ms. Braff, and we discussed, how shared leadership could be implemented in the school and how we can encourage some staff members to adapt these roles. And we know how important it is as school leaders to be able to identify those individuals and to empower them to create more distributed leadership, and then create an organizational culture that supports all individuals who want to be empowered and take on those roles and additional tasks as well. Our next artifact for 3.5 is we create a learner-centered schedule in Dr. Weaver's class in organizational leadership. Now, this was a lot of work, and it was a lot of fun to be able to create this schedule, but to ensure that it was learner-centered, and we wanted to ensure we had, protected instructional time. We had collaboration time with teachers. We had intervention time for students who need additional help. We had enrichment activities, extracurricular activities. So it was a lot of thought and work throughout this student-centered plan, and just trying to keep in mind that we want to maximize instruction as much as possible as school leaders and protect that instruction time when we are able to. For artifact 4.1, I was able to create a school community profile in Don Ben's class, and very interesting project. Was able to gather a lot of data about the school and about the community, and basically almost creating a brochure about the school. That way, information is available to stakeholders. In particular, I was thinking about, if you're a parent or individual in the community who wants to know more about the school, this would be a huge resource. And as school leaders, we should be collaborating with stakeholders, and then, putting the information out about the school in the community. That way we can help support the perception of the community, the school's image in the community. The standard 4.2, I did a community project. Basically, for Dr. Martin Luther King Elementary, I created a directory, kind of like a database of community resources available to them, and trying to create a resource directory. That way all stakeholders will have access and know what resources are available in the community. Next, I was able to, and for artifact 4.3, create a stakeholder survey, in which I basically designed a professional learning community questionnaire to distribute to the stakeholders, trying to get feedback of how they felt about the collaboration between the school and the community, including, parents and community members, and trying to get the interest of the communities. That way, the school leadership team can use this information to be able to help find out what barriers they have to collaborating with stakeholders, and then to find out and get feedback from the collaboration they have been doing. For standard 5.1, I was able to do a code of ethics project in Dr. Hellam's class, and so I reviewed the state board rules and prepared a presentation to identify, what is the purpose of these code of ethics and how educator leaders enforce these, implement these, and also as well as uphold these and train staff members on these code of ethics. And so that project was very instrumental in understanding, the Arkansas Educator Code of Ethics and how that's applied every day in our walk in schools. For standard 5.2, I was able to, in Dr. Jenkins' class, conduct an analysis of leadership decisions. So throughout my experience, be able to conduct observations and working with Miss Bradford out of Quest Academy and Miss Carter out of Dr. Martin Luther King Elementary School to ensure that, how do school leaders uphold this ethical culture, and to ensure that equity is involved, and the decision making of the school as well as the practices of teachers is aligned to the code of ethics, and as well as the values and mission and vision of the school. For standard 5.4, I was able to, in Dr. Hellam's class, we did a building level operational policies and procedures project. There was a lot of work involved as well, in which we were reviewing and critiquing the school policies, the practices, to look for, social justice, equity, diversity. How are things handled confidentially? How is diversity promoted? How are all students accepted and all staff members accepted? And we know as school leaders, we should evaluate the school strategies to prevent things from happening immorally or involved in any kind of legal issues as well, and be knowledgeable of those legal consequences involved. The standard 6.1, I had to write a written summary of the powers and duties of the Board of Education. So I learned a lot about, the role of the State Board of Education and kind of looking at, okay, what powers do they have? What are their responsibilities? What do they have to do? What are they charged with ensuring that Arkansas education is continuing to stay at the forefront and as well as continue to improving? For standard 6.3, I was able to actually interview a state senator. Very informative and interesting conversation I had with Senator Warwick Saban, and just kind of talking to him about his role he plays in K through 12 education. Mr. Saban had the opportunity to serve on education committee, so he had more of an insight on K through 12 education, and just talking about how does legislation ultimately impact our day-to-day walk in schools and how it impacts what we do every day. In conclusion, this program has provided me a lot of hands-on experience as well as, being able to research, being able to really engage in professional learning communities and conversations that drive of school leader success, being able to explore leadership theories, motivational theories, being able to look at things from operational for curriculum to legal and moral and ethical decision making has ultimately increased my competency and my skills as a educational leader as well as a building leader as well. And I'm looking forward to utilizing a lot of resources I used in this program and things I've learned to become a more effective building level leader. And I just want to thank Dr. Jenkins for her guidance throughout this program, as well as Miss Carter and Miss Bradford. They took a lot of time out and as far as supporting me and letting me be able to get engaged and work with them throughout this semester.